All right, welcome to yet another lesson. In this lesson, we're going to learn on how we can add images to our website. Okay, so we're going to open VS Code and see how we can add images to our website. Okay, so when we get to our index.html, right, we're going to remove some of these. Okay, let me just remove the one for Facebook. Okay, so down here, that's where we want to now add images. Okay, so how do we add images? Remember, with HTML, we use tags every time, and the image, the tags that we use always come from their names. Okay, so here we are adding unlisted items, and we use EUL. But with an image, since we know that the word image is like this, what we do with this one is we just remove the A and the E. So we just use img for us to represent an image tag. All right. So what we're going to do is that you just open like that. Okay. Then with the image, it has a number of attributes. Of course, the first one you can say it's a src like that. Okay, so src stands for source. Okay, so source is where we are talking about the source where the image is. Okay, so like a link, an image can have two different places where we're getting the images. One can be internal and the other one external. Okay, and I'll show you what that means. So with the internal, it means that we actually have images inside our folders, but with the external, it means we just get a link online and be able to paste it here, and it will be able to see it on the browser, okay, or on our website. All right, so you just close your tag like that. Okay, this is your tag. Now, I'm sure you've noticed something different about this tag. Okay, now the other way that you can actually like introduce this tag, if we want, we can remove this // if you want, you can leave it there. Okay, now another way to just be able to come up with a tag, if you, let's say you forget the source, you forget the img, you know, there are times when you might forget what attributes goes into this img HTML tag. So what you do is you just type img, then you click the first prompt that says emit abbreviation like that, then you'll be able to see the whole thing. Now with this one that I've generated, you'll notice that we have another attribute called auth. Okay, so this auth is a shortcut for alternative, right? So there are times when an image is broken. Let's say you use a link from the browser, okay, from the internet. You use a link, you put it here. Now remember, we said with the website you have the backend, the front end, and the server. Now images are stored at the backend in some form of maybe cloud storage, right? So imagine if the users of those storage systems delete the image. It means the link that you are using will now be broken because it will be pointing to a place where there is no longer that image, right? So your image won't show in the browser. Okay, so to avoid the image just showing that it's broken, we use the auth to now show the user what type of image was supposed to be there. Okay, you will now see how that looks like. So remove this first one. Okay, remove this first one. Now notice that here the one we prompted doesn't have a // okay, but you can still use a / if you want. Okay, it's just a way of self-closing that tab. Okay, so the other thing that you notice about this tag is that this is a self-closing tag. It doesn't have a closing tag like these ones. Okay, so with an unlisted item, you notice that sorry, for the unordered list, you notice that you have an open tag and a closing tag here, right? For the listed items, you have a open tag and a closing tag. For the anchor tag, you have an open tag and a closing tag, but for this one you don't. Okay, so I mentioned that there are actually two types of tags. They are what we call open and closing, and there are other ones that are just self-closing. So an image is one of those self-closing tags. All right, so let's download an image and be able to add it on our web page. Now, before we do that, we're going to create a folder inside our HTML folder here, right? So create a folder, and this folder will be called images, right? So inside the images, that's where we'll put our images, right? So let's go to a website called Unsplash. Unsplash has some pretty good, professional photos that you can use for free. So you can just browse through like what photos you want, You can get any photo that you want here, or you can search. If you want, you can search here. So let's say I want something that has to do with programming. Okay. All right. So it brings me all that, right? And I can choose any that I like. Let's pick one. Okay, so just pick this simple one, right? Okay, so I'll just let me see, maybe there's a different, okay, this one, like this one for the Arduino. Okay, so we download this one, so you just download. Okay, so I'll put it inside our folder, okay, the one that we created. So here we have this HTML, then images folder. Okay, now this is a very long name, so I'll just give it a simple name. I'll just say image 1, okay, and save like that. So we've downloaded that one. Okay, let's try to get a different one as well. Okay, so maybe we get this one. Okay, this one I'll call it image 2, like that. Let me get another one. Last one. Okay, I'll get this one. Okay, this one, create image 3. Yeah. Okay. All right, close that. Then we'll go back to our code. Now, when we go back to VS Code, and when you open this folder like that, you'll now be able to see these images. When you click, for example, on the first one, okay, we are able to see this is the image that we downloaded. These are the ones, right? Yeah, these are the images. Okay, so cancel it. So now for you to add the image here, the same way that we are doing it for the links is the same that you do here, right? So since we're inside here, this directory, right? Inside this index.html, what we want is to go inside the images folder and be able to get these images, right? So when I go here, what I'll just say is I want to go inside the images folder. So once I go inside the images folder, you are now able to see the different images that are there, right? So if I pick the first one like that, all right, and I'll do Arduino boards, those are Arduino boards. So I can do that, okay? So the reason why I'm typing auth, okay, I'm looking at the type of image that's there. So if the image at any point is broken, it's not visible, the user will be able to see this word, okay? So those are called Arduino boards, okay? So that's the reason why I wrote their names here, so that anyone that sees them is able to understand. If they're not visible, they're able to see the name to say, oh, okay, the type of image that was here is this one. And adding this attribute is very important because it helps when it comes to search engine optimization, which is something that we'll look at soon. Okay, so I'm going to save the work, and when I go on the website now, you'll be able to see this big image like that. Okay, it's very big like that, you see. Okay, but we don't want the image to be this big. Okay, so what can we do inside HTML? So inside HTML, you have other attributes inside the image tag, right? So inside the image tag, there's an attribute called width. Okay, so the width you can specify using units of pixels, right? So we can say, okay, you know what? I want the width to be, for example, all right, I want it to be, let's say, 600 pixels, right? 600 pixels like that. So when you save the work and go back to the page, okay, like that, you notice that the image has what? Reduced. This image is now 600 pixels in width, okay? There are times when you can just say, okay, you know what? I want it to cover the whole page. So I want this to be 100% like that. So when you say 100%, you use a percentage, okay? Check what happens, okay? When you use 100%, it's covering the whole page from here to that side, okay? And scrolling down like that. So meaning the height is now automatic, it's auto, right? Because if you specify the height, it means you're going to distort the image, stretch the image, okay? Or compress it. So imagine if, let's say, we add the other attribute, which is the height attribute, then we specify it, so we want it to be 200 pixels and save like that, okay? When we go to the page, you notice that the image will be distorted like that. You are stretching the image or compressing it in this case, okay? So you don't want that. So always put a fixed unit on the width or percentage or using pixels. Then the height will just be automatic. It will be keeping that ratio so that the image doesn't get distorted, okay? So in this case, what we're going to do is just leave it at 500 pixels like that, okay? Like that, okay? So we'll leave it like that, which is 500 pixels. Now, you can add as many images as you want. So let's say we want to add another one, okay? So we'll come here, add the image tag like that, okay? Then we'll specify, okay, we want to go inside the images like that. Sorry, you want to go into the images, then we get the image number 2, okay? So I can repeat this if I want, journal board like that. Then I can also get the width as well. For this one, I can also specify, okay, this one I want it 500 pixels as well, okay? Then when you check, you notice the other image comes on the other side like that. So we have 2 images now. And you can continue adding the other one. So let me just copy this line. Then here we change to 3 since the other one is called image 3, right? Then when we save, you notice that you now have an image down here like that, okay? So this is how you add these images. Now it's just that the page is zoomed in because I wanted you guys to see, but when you reset it properly in terms of its normal size, you notice that we have 3 images that are lining next to each other like that, okay? So this is how you add images locally, right? Now let's go back to the same platform where we're getting the images, okay? So there might be an incident where you want to be able to use this image on that platform. So what you do is you would want to share it, okay? Maybe you want to get the link. So when you share, like for this pattern, right? When you share copy link like this, it's actually getting the link for the page, okay? For the page, you've seen that. So it won't help if you add this link, okay? So when you go back there, okay, information, it will just give you information about this guy, okay? So you notice there is no link that you can use here. So what you do is you come on the image, then you right click. So when you right click, you are supposed to have a link here, okay? That says copy link. Now, are you able to see that? You're able to see here, copy image address. There is no link for this one. So copy image address is the same one. So when you paste it here, this is the link for the image, okay? So when I press enter, I'm now able to view the image alone. You've seen that without the website. So that's the link that we get and put on our page. So I can replace it here like that, okay? I can replace it like that, okay? And be able to save the work. Once I save the work and we go back to our page, okay, you'll be able to now see the image on the other side, okay? Now, the reason why I was saying that we are adding those, text for alternative is because when we go back, okay, let's say we made a mistake here, right? Let's say we made a mistake. We said we were going back like that, okay? Then we are going into these images and we got this image. Then we save the work. When you go back on the website, you notice that only 2 images are showing, but this other one is now broken. You've seen that it's just showing an icon for a broken image, and there's this text that's saying Arduino boards. Okay, so this is the importance of adding that auth. If we had removed it, okay, so if we remove this guy from here and we save like that and we go back, you see that the text won't be there. So we should always add that text. Okay, should always add that text. It's important. So we take it back to the way it was. Fix it, right? Okay, reset it, right? So this is how you add your images to your website.